Da 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 Domo! Domo, 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 domo. Thank you so much for coming. Let's get me a little smaller. There we go. It's so nice to see you all. My name is Blade Naloon, and welcome to my debut. So let me start off by showing off my model a little bit. I'll zoom in some more. You can see here that I've got these big, pretty eyes. I've got my fancy little hat that has a nice big feather on it. I've also got my nice cravat here, and I have my coat, which I can take on and off. Very convenient like that. I also have my belt and my gloves. The gloves stay on, if you're wondering. And of course, my boots. Very convenient, especially during muddy weather, or if it's raining. So, basically, I'm going to start off with a little slideshow, go over everything about myself. And if you guys manage to stay until the end, I've got a special surprise for you. That all sound good? That does sound good, right? The nice thing about my VTuber model, which was created by Cola Mola, is that it has a variety of expressions. You can see when I get really excited, I can make my eyes sparkle. Or if my cat decides to invade, I can have him with me. His debut is going to be on Saturday, where I'm going to talk about him more in detail. And thank you for the compliment. Rocker, is it pronounced? Yes, I do have a kitty. I can also wave, which unfortunately I don't have the coat on when I do it, but I mean it's easier to move around anyway without it. I mainly just have the coat on because I get cold very easily. I'd rather be warm as much as possible. Alright, I think I've messed around too much already. Let's get started. We'll move on to this one. Alright, here's the slideshow. Hooray! You can see I'm already waving here because I'm so excited to show you all everything that's going on. Okay, so let's start with my full name. It might be a little hard to pronounce. It's Sanglante Nouvelle de Lune. Now, I normally translate it into English as Bloody de Lune, since I know Americans can't pronounce that very well. Imagine going to Starbucks and someone's is like, yeah, I got an order here for a Sanglante. Yeah, no, I'd rather not. Bloody's just fine with me. As for my species, I'm a kitsune, also known as a fox. It is the literal translation anyway. And as expected, I do have kitsune-esque powers, which is very useful for my occupation. Oh, thank you for the raid. Domo. So yes, basically with my kitsune powers, I'm more of a red mage in that I have a combination of black and white magic, fireball, healing, that sort of thing. I don't particularly excel in any particular ability. I've chosen to be a more rounded character so that I can be accessible in a variety of situations. So most often, I usually wind up either being the support or like the sub DPS. Following up with being a kitsune, I am a female, by birth. However, I do occasionally like to be a guy. It's feeling cute, feeling masculine, take a cute selfie, have some fun with it. And because of that, I know humans like to call that being gender fluid, where you occasionally feel like being male or female or in the middle. And so I'll just go with that term if you really need to know. But otherwise, don't worry about it. Pronouns, I don't really care. She, her is what I usually go with, but if you want to go with he or they, I don't care. I'd say just don't call me an it. The only person that should be called an it is the clown. Do I look like a clown to you? Huh? I make you laugh? Am I funny? Yeah? I didn't think so. Now I know what you're thinking. Bloody, if you're a kitsune and you can shapeshift into any gender you want, doesn't that mean right now you could possibly have both parts and we wouldn't even know? I'll never tell. And speaking of what's going on between pants, I don't care what's between yours. Male, female, tentacle monster, it really doesn't matter to me. Again, you humans seem to like to have all kinds of labels and whatnot. I figured pansexual is probably the most accurate describing me, so we'll go with that one. And yes, if you're wondering, I am a certified monster fucker. It is kind of part of the job. But it does come with its benefits. I mean, imagine going into a hunting job and being assaulted by a monster and not being into it. That would be very traumatizing. I've seen it happen. As for my height and age, I'm about 5'7" on a good day. Age-wise, I've been around for a pretty long time. I'm 528. I'm actually going to turn 529 in a couple weeks. So I won't necessarily do a birthday stream, but I will be playing Pokemon for my birthday week because that's what I really want to do. So look forward to that. As for my sign, Sagittarius Sun, Taurus Moon, Leo Rising. I have no idea what that all means. I guess that means that I'm friendly and outgoing. I've spoken to a tarot reader before and they were like, wow, with those kind of signs, you must be hedonistic as fuck. To which I was like, you say that like it's a bad thing. But, I try to be as caring and considerate as possible, though I am a bit of an introvert. And if you prefer personality types over signs and stargazing, I'm an INFJ, which is known as the Advocate. Again, I don't know what that means exactly for me, aside from that I'm very level-headed and, I try and do the right thing. I'd say alignment-wise, I'm probably neutral good. And as for fan name, I'm going to go with Kohai's, since working for as long as I have, and I have so much experience, a lot of my coworkers have come to call me senpai. And I know what anime is like. Anime loves to romanticize, the Kohais falling in love with the senpais or vice versa. But don't get that idea with me. It's like I am quite professional when it comes to this kind of thing. I just want us to be purely business, purely professional. Of course we could be friendly. Of course we can, hang out, be chill. But it's not going to evolve into anything outside of that. So I just wanted to set those boundaries because I have had that happen with kawaiis before. And then they start crying or getting mad. So I don't want that to happen. But, I still care. And I think if we work together, we could build a nice community together and be able to produce something really nice, And speaking of romance, I would very much ask if you do not ship me with real life people. Now, when it comes to fictional people, go right ahead. If you want to put me on top of a Astolfo Shrek sandwich, by all means, go right ahead. I don't care. But when it comes to real people, please do not do that. The only exception would be if both me and the other person have said it's okay. Whoop. All right, hashtags. These are pretty much the hashtags that I managed to come up with. Yeah. Thank you. Hopefully me and Shrek do nice things together. And I hope that I can help him clean out his swamp, if you know what I mean. But yeah, in general, my tags are just going to be Bloody Daloon. Art is Art Daloon. I'm not very creative. I couldn't think of anything super special. And of course, I am fine with NSFW art. I know Rule 34 exists. So I really don't mind. Just have fun, be respectful. So, and just go from there. I really don't care. And memes? Oh my god, please. Please send me your memes. I fucking love memes. Give me your memes. So yeah, that will be under Bloody Uwu because I am cringe. And I like to be ironically uwu. As for my Oshi mark, it's just going to be a blood drop and a new moon. Because, my name literally is Bloody New Moon. Oh, I don't know why it's doing things out of order. Alright. Alright. Here's the original concept that I had for my character. The image I had in mind was for an outfit that I had made in a mobile game called Love Nikki. And as you can see in the hair, ears, and tail section, my tail actually is not two tails. It's actually one tail that's split down the middle. The issue is, how kitsunes, when they get stronger, their tails split, and eventually the most powerful one becoming a nine-tailed fox. The problem with me is that for some strange reason, I never had that happen to me. I started very early splitting my tail, and then it just stopped. And no one's entirely sure why. Some people think that it might be because, I am like 1/16 Neko. That's why my ears are so kawaii and fluffy. And they think that maybe that might have messed up my genes or something, But honestly, I don't mind. I like my tail as big and fluffy as it is. And I feel like if I had like 5, 6 tails, that would probably be really hard to sit with. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can just make me a couple of memes. I'm just saying. But yeah, I very much like the regal, sophisticated arts, which is why I went with this concept. And, this was the final product. Again, Colamola did an amazing job. I love my VTuber mama to death. You should definitely support her, even though right now she's got a big waiting list because she's so amazing. As for my rigging, that was done by SL Wolf. All of the credits are in the description, so if I pronounce your name wrong, I'm sorry. But the two of them combined together made me. So here are some personal goals that I want to do. Once I get more comfortable with streaming, I do want to collab with someone. I do have some people in mind, if they still want to, no pressure. And I do want to do a karaoke stream because I do like to sing and I don't get a lot of chances to do it. And I also have something really special planned if I do wind up getting 1K subs, although I kind of doubt I'm going to get it anytime in the near future, but really, it's not the number itself that I'm worried about. It's more about having the viewer retention needed for the idea that I have, because the idea that I have is going to require a lot of viewer engagement, so to speak. And that's all I want to really say about that for now. Meanwhile, I also want to get personal graphics, because while these nice free graphics I got are really nice, and I do appreciate having them, I want to have something that's a little bit myself. But that's something way down the road, because I know they can be very expensive. Thank you for the encouragement. I'd also like to try rating, because I know that's very popular. Oh. Thank you for the follow. And probably after this stream, I'll try rating someone, since, someone just rated me now. Let me take a sip of water. And, I have some goofy goals here as well. Some things I could do for stream, like winning a tournament, playing Genshin Impact and crying about it, because trying to 100% anything in Genshin is a lot. Make more memes, of course. I love me some memes. And maybe do my own stream where other people can submit memes of me, and I can laugh at how funny other people are. I don't know. I just think that would be really cool. And, the benefit of that is that Senpai would get to notice you and laugh at your funny meme. So why not? Oh, thank you for the follow. Again, it's... Come on. I don't know why PowerPoint's being funky. All right. Here's the general information stuff. My favorite foods include... I got like Swedish redfish, Twizzlers, pasta, cheesecake, seafood, spice food. So I have a huge sweet tooth. And so as obvious as I'm sure that is from this list, and I do love really spicy food, I can eat a habanero, no problem. It's like a spicy chip challenge. It's like, bring it on. Why not? Maybe make that a subscriber goal, though you're just going to see me crying the whole time. The only thing I really don't like is mushrooms. Oh, that's a good question. If you had to pick a seafood, which would be your favorite? That is a good question. I do love shrimp. Shrimp is probably my number one. I also love clams, and I do eat those regularly. I also like a lot of fish, like trout, halibut, but yeah, if I had to pick just one, probably shrimp. It's a very versatile food that you can put in you can put it pretty much anything. You can have it hot, you can have it cold. And as long as it's cooked right, it's great. Some things I like. I definitely love animals. And sleeping. And yes, I do love Swedish redfish. It is literally my favorite candy of all time. And there's an Italian ice, Rita's, that makes it. They're Italian ice Swedish redfish flavored, and that is my favorite flavor also of all time. Yeah, the things I like are, nice elderly people, those sweet grandmas that call you like sweetie, honey, darling. It's like they're so nice. They give you cookies and like knit you sweaters. It's like out of all my favorite types of humans, they're probably my favorite. I don't really like the ones that are like, you kids stay off my lawn. No, I don't want that kind of elderly person. Or the elderly people that are like, why is no one taking care of me? Like, I don't like today's youth. Like, nah, no. I want the nice ones with the cookies. Give me the ones with the cookies. Yeah, the grumpy elderly people. And as I said before, I like my memes. And I love cuddling with my cat. As you can see, he's right here. Right now, he is right beside me, trying to be a butthead. And I'm just ignoring him. And I prefer the warmth over the cold. There, I have a kitty. Gotta drink water again. staying hydrated. But yeah, when it comes to the warmth, yeah, he does pop up like that. I know, I have a short attention span, don't I? He just chirped at me. What, baby? What do you want? Yeah? He probably wants to be move his wand around. There we go. But yeah, I know when you're a kid, it's fun to go outside in the cold and roll around and play in the snow. But when you're an adult, I've noticed the cold isn't really as convenient. I know the mentality is that, you bundle yourself up as much as possible to stay warm. While if it's hot out, you could be stripped down and still be hot. But regardless, I still find myself preferring the warmth. And yeah, I am a bit of a fujoshi in that I prefer yaoi and BL, which is short for boys love. And and people have probably noticed that on my Twitter when I reblogged about slow damage, and that's probably why they unfollowed me. But that's fine by me, because if you're not comfortable with me talk about stuff like that, you're gonna have a bad time. Speaking of Twitter, I really don't like Twitter drama. In fact, excuse me. In fact, I will be right back. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a weird tickle in my throat and it took a minute. Anyway, you're not late to the party, VTuber Tatsuro, so you're fine. Hello. Oh, thank you for the follow. As I was saying, I'm not really a fan of Twitter drama, and really the reason why I even bothered with Twitter is because I've been banned on Facebook for the sole crime of doing literally nothing. I'm going to be clearing my throat a bit, sorry. Like, literally, I made a Facebook account for the sake of having a Facebook account, and Facebook is like, oh, you're not using it? Well, you're probably a bot or something, so you're banned. And then they never let me back in. And I really don't like, how people make a big deal about stuff that don't really mean anything. I've never been a drama person. So really, I'm just going to use Twitter primarily to post stuff like, updates, scheduling, memes, good happy stuff. I'm not a fan of rude drunks. I don't drink myself, but I'm okay if people drink around me. But if you're going to go crazy, like you start slurring or wobbling around, I'm not really a fan of that. Like, oh, come on, throat, work with me here. Okay, narcissists, I'm not a fan of either. And not in the, oh, I'm so beautiful and perfect kind of way. More of the, oh, everyone else is the reason why things happen to me. It's never my fault. I don't like those kind of narcissists that make everything about themselves. So, again, that does funnel back into drama because it's usually narcissists that cause drama. So I try to avoid that stuff as much as possible. Yeah, blame deflectors, exactly. Really hate those kind of people. I am not a fan of bad hygiene either. I'm a bit of a neat freak. And it's like, we all have our gross habits. I do too. In fact, I have a couple of used tissues next to me that I'm not going to throw out until after this stream. But when I refer to bad hygiene, I'm talking about like not brushing your teeth, only showering like once a week. It's like, please put on deodorant, especially if you're going to an anime con. It's like, everyone will thank you. Trust me. I've mentioned the cold before, and certain noises. I do have sensitive hearing, and it has led to me having panic attacks. For example, I went to a rave once, and the combination of the flashing lights and the loud noises resulted in ending very, very badly. It's also because I have sensitive hearing that I'm not good with ASMRs. So, like, 90% of them actually make me very nauseous. So, don't expect an ASMR stream from me. Because then I'd have to listen back onto myself, and then I'd make myself sick. And I really don't want to do that. In fact, if I do follow you and you're an ASMR channel or something, that either means two things. It means either one, you're part of the exception, or two, there's something about you that I like aside from your ASMRs. So if you think that ASMRs is all you're good for, I'm that one person that's going to be like, no, you're wrong. I actually like this thing about you. And when it comes to music, I like a lot of different things like classical, rock, metal, all in general. That stuff I was raised on since, well, it was when I was just a wee little kid. Like, basically, when I was in my few 100 years old, I was growing up on classical music, and then once rock and metal were invented, oh boy, did it go crazy. You have Metallica and Guns N' Roses, like, all that stuff. And I listed a whole bunch of examples here, but there's way more than that. I would say right now I'm really into Ghost. Like, they've been coming out with really good new stuff lately. But a lot of this stuff, like Dave Matthews, I've listened like to every album. Coldplay, they've been declining a bit in my opinion, but their older stuff, like a Blood Rush to the Head's really good. Oh, and Gorillaz, I remember at one point being really obsessed with the lore. And they're still coming out with stuff, so if you haven't checked them out in a while, I definitely recommend you do. And I also really like anime and game OSTs. I can even provide some examples in a little bit. Now, the reason why I don't have favorite YouTubers listed on here is because we would be here all day. But pretty much everyone that has ever been associated with Trash Taste ever, I definitely absolutely love. And I've actually been watching them before they came together. So when they came together, it was like, oh, that's perfect. If you don't know what Trash Taste is, it's basically a anime podcast, kinda. Oh yes, the Nier OST. That was actually going to be one of my big examples. I absolutely adore the Nier OST. Absolutely obsessed with it. Like, listen to it for hours on end. Drink some water. Agreed, pork roll. Agreed. Absolutely. Another podcast I like is Welcome to Night Vale. I did I did get into it because of Tumblr, if you're wondering. I still go on Tumblr. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'll forget about it for a few months, and then one day I'll be like, oh yeah, that exists, and then I catch up on it. But I do really like the surreal horror and the bizarre storytelling and the unique setting. And a lot of the arcs are really good. And it is interesting how even now, after all these years, they're still giving backstories to a lot of characters. Like, if you watched it before and you knew about Koshek, the floating cat, and you haven't checked in lately, they did explain his entire lore. And it's actually really interesting. Oh yeah, and the Dragon Guard 3 OST is a banger too. Yeah, the truth is about VTubing is that while I did start hearing about it for a while, it peaked during the pandemic and all that. But I really haven't actively sought it out until a few months ago when I decided myself to become a VTuber. So that's why a lot of the things I have on here as favorites are like the mainstream stuff, because that's what I was looking for as like things I should be doing or set as an example. Kazuna I was really into her when she did peak though. But she's pretty much the grandma of all VTubers. So respect your grandmas and be a good example for her. That's the way I see it. And Iron Mouse, again, that's connected to Trash Taste. Project Melody, if you know where she's from, you know where she's from. Nanners, I found out from an extension of Iron Mouse, and, I like her memes, and even some of her, I found out she was the one that made a bunch of the songs that were memes, so, memer liking fellow memer. That is what it is. And then, Vox Akuma is probably my newest obsession. I did find out about Niji Sanji, again, while I was researching, and he is very much my aesthetic, to the point where I would even consider cosplaying him, which, as I've listed, as part of my hobbies. And not just because, he's so cool and regal and elegant. I also like his shit posts on Twitter, a lot. They're absolutely hilarious. And again, I can't listen to his ASMRs, so I'll just check in on him fucking around in some game and have a great time. So following up with hobbies, I do love role-playing. With cosplays, I do not post my pictures, but I do allow people to take pictures of me when I'm at conventions. I have cosplayed characters such as I'll start with my first. My very first cosplay was Russia from Hetalia. And then I was Zetsubo Sensei from Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. And then I was Jade Curtis from Tales of the Abyss. And then I was Shishio from Token Rambu. And then I was Sasha from Attack on Titan. And now I'm cosplaying D-Luke from Genshin Impact. The funny thing about that, and Pork Roll can attest to this actually, is that D-Luke was not my first choice for a Genshin Impact cosplay. I was actually going to cosplay a fall version of Amber, where she wears how to describe it, capris instead of shorts, and maybe like a coat, and have like a little bit of fun with the idea. But what happened was I wound up being gifted a cosplay that didn't fit somebody else. So, and it fit me perfectly because Asian sizes are weird, and apparently I'm an extra large in Asia. Yes, exactly, a warm amber instead of summer. And I really liked D-Luke, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll cosplay him. And people have really liked my cosplay, so that's been great. And by extension, I really like role-playing. I do tabletop, I've done like Discord chats, and I've role-played in cosplay, like when you go to anime panels, they might have like a dating game where you're trying to match up the anime video game characters to their bachelor/bachelorette. I've done that. In fact, when I was Jade Curtis, I actually got into a fight with Eren Yeager fighting over Mabel from Gravity Falls. It was hilarious. In the end, she didn't pick either of us. She went with some other option. But role-playing is something I do really like because, you could be pretty much anything you want to be, and I love character creation and coming up with backstories, and again, that falls into my writing hobby. I have written books that I've posted on Wattpad. I haven't published anything. I've just written stuff because I just see it as a hobby. And I'd say probably the closest I've ever gotten to any recognition was being a semi-finalist in the Waddy Awards long ago when that was new. But I really enjoy coming up with all kinds of various ideas, and let's just say you might see some of those ideas in the future. On top of that, I like making games. Nothing super complicated. I've done like visual novels and RPG Maker. So just dabbling a little bit in that. And what's interesting with that is that you can really look inside the code, and it's really made me empathize with game creators, knowing how hard it can be. And when it comes to art, I usually either get like free assets or I'll Photoshop some stuff on my own. So it's really fun and interesting. And again, for my games, I've put them on itch.io. Ah, yes, thank you. Yes, coding is so hard. That's what I like about like RPG Maker, is that it does half of it for you. And if you look up online how to do the more complicated stuff, you can really make some really interesting things with it. That's kind of why there was that horror craze a while back with RPG Maker, is because you can do some really creative things with it if you know what you're doing. I also really like board games, like Tokaido, Tanto Kyurei, and even simpler board games that people actually know, so my weebness isn't showing. Like Uno or any of those things. So that's stuff that I'm open to playing, possibly on stream. You never know. And I also really like singing. That's something I've always been into, even when I was little. Oh yeah, the Llamas with Hats card game. That's a good one. So yeah, my strengths are that, I'm book smart. When growing up and being in the academy, It's like they listed me as, the gifted and talented kid. Put the cat away for now. But you know how it is with the gifted and talented. That doesn't really mean much. Like, I was basically just taken out of English class to do puzzles and play chess. And then English wound up being my worst subject. So what does that tell you? I'd like to think that I'm a good listener. I'm open to listening to people's problems. And I can offer advice the best I can, being a good senpai. Helping you out best I can. And I'm very open-minded, and to the point where people have come out to me about some very strange stuff that I will take to my grave. They are their secrets, and it's none of my business to share. But, I will at least hear a person out before I make any judgments. And I suggest other people do that too, because I know in this day and age of technology, people are quick to make their own conclusions and just go with what they see on a clickbait article. But you got to think critically sometimes and double check your sources, because sometimes it's not always what it seems. That's all I can really say about that. And I'm also very tidy and organized, which I didn't know was a strength until, again, later university, when they would do dorm checks and they would come in and be like, wow, your room is so clean. I'd be like, well, yeah, I keep my room clean. I don't want to risk losing anything, so I put it where I know where it'll be. I don't leave clothes on the floor. I don't leave garbage on the floor. So that all works out good. As for weaknesses, oh my god, I have a very bad memory. Granted, I am like 500 years old. Oh, thank you for the follow. I'm also easily distracted, as you can see. And that's usually what makes me forget things, is I get distracted by something, and then I'll be like, what was I doing? And then it's like I have to figure out what I was doing and go back into it. Do not expect me to remember your name the first time, or the first 20 times. And do not expect me to remember something that I did a while back. And do not expect me to remember to bring something. Like the other day, I borrowed a book from someone and I left it on my desk within viewing range and told myself out loud, do not forget to take the book with you when you leave. You know what happened? I packed up my things, I left, and it wasn't until like an hour later I was like, fuck, I forgot the book. Yes, please burn it into my mind. That might actually help with my bad memory. Cat wants attention again. Alright, let me wave your little wand for you. He's a brat. Always remember happy day. Yeah, another thing is that I am very blunt. Again, as you might have noticed from the way I kind of go back and forth between being clean and lewd, which is why I put in my rules that I am not for children. I will censor myself around children, but if I don't know that a children is in the area, I will just say what I'm thinking. And, sometimes I have trouble getting motivated. I mean, don't we all? And it can lead to me procrastinating quite a bit, but I am going to try my best to not do that with VTubing. But if you see me playing a game and I should be doing something, but then I get distracted and start doing something else, I'll just be like, I'll do it later. That's just how it is sometimes. Come on, work properly. Okay, video games. This is the important part because I know that's what you guys are going to want to expect from me. So, this is just a very small sample of games. I'm not going to go over all of them because I know that would take forever. So, let me just generally go over, my favorite genres. Like, I'm really into RPGs. That's going to be probably the ones that aren't 100 hours long, you can expect me to stream. Because I know with the 100-hour long ones, that's going to take weeks, and I don't want people to get bored. So if I am going to play an RPG, it's probably going to be ones that are like 30 hours long. Rhythm games, that's one of the benefits of having sensitive hearing is that I am very musically inclined, and it also helps that was taught music at a young age, so I'm very good at following rhythms and beats. So in fact, when it comes to rhythm games, often the easy setting is too easy for me. I usually jump to like normal or hard depending on the game. Yeah, I have so many video games on there. Oh yes, you like No Thank You too. Definitely play No Thank You if you're a Yaoi BL fan. It's really good. Would you consider something like Elden Ring? Unfortunately, no. I will come out and say it. I do have a motor disability that makes it very difficult for me to do certain things. And I have tried to play things like Dark Souls and even Code Vein. I thought I would love Code Vein because it's basically Dark Souls anime. And the problem is I couldn't play it properly the way it wanted me to, because with those things you have to have very precise reaction times. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever be able to play Elden Ring or anything like that. Is it? I wouldn't know, sorry. It's like, it does suck for me too, because it's like, look at my aesthetic. Wouldn't I be perfect to play Bloodborne? I know, but it's like, that, again, those kinds of challenging games, I'm just not good at. But hey, if I was able to like maybe co-op it with someone, because I know there's co-op options, and it is a personal thing, because what some people are good at, other people aren't. Like Pork Roll said, it's a personal thing. Another thing you're definitely going to see me probably do is visual novels, if I can manage to read one without gagging from talking so much. And I even have several examples of really good ones that I highly recommend. Out of all the visual novels I've read, definitely the best visual novel of all time is Umi Neko. If you've only seen the anime, you are missing out. Seriously, because the anime only adapts a portion of it, and very poorly. Play the visual novel. I know it's like 100 hours long, and it is split into 2 arcs, but you are doing yourself a disservice, as if you like mystery and psychological horror, it's like you're missing out by not playing Umi Neko. It's on Steam. I highly recommend it. Yes, exactly. Anime Bad, VN Goat. Let's see, and then I also like adventure games generally, like Zelda and action games like Yakuza. Yakuza's so good. I've played all of the Yakuza games that have been released and their spin-offs, and not all of them are bangers. Like 4 and 5 I didn't like, with the way it had you playing different characters. Like, good idea, poor execution, basically. But, like Kiwame and 6 and 2, even 3. 3 is a remaster, and so it's technically the oldest if you're playing, including the Kiwame, but it still holds up really well. It's really underrated, very much so. I actually really like it because the orphans are absolutely amazing. Like, there's one kid who's just an absolute trooper, and I love him. I'm blanking on his name right now, though. Yeah, I also like dress-up games, like Love Nikki. I still log in actively to Gaia Online every single day. If anyone remembers that website, it's kind of dead now, but I just log in to dress up, and that's basically it. Like, I'll make an outfit for myself every week, and then I don't even interact with the community anymore. That's how I got started with a lot of my role-playing stuff, is role-playing on Gaia, back when the role-playing community was very active, and then everyone moved to Discord. But yeah, I do love taking cute girls and putting them in cute dresses, or even boys and putting them in nice clothes or dresses or skirts, you know. No judging here. Mitsuo, that's it. Mitsuo. Such a good kid. Yeah, clothes are an unhealthy hobby. Yeah, it's like with Love Nikki, I was paying like $10 a month, basically, for just to dress up. And I wound up quitting because of the Facebook ban, because you need a Facebook account to more or less access most of the features. And now I put all that money into Genshin Impact. Yeah, and I also like party games, you know, like Mario Party, Uno. So when it comes to collabs, that's probably the thing I'm most likely going to be doing is like party games, because that's just easiest for me. I can't do something like Overwatch or Call of Duty. Again, the motor disability is a problem in that regard, because I know the frame rates aren't being exact and the perspective kind of messes me up a little bit. So FPSs are what I'm least likely to play. I'll be honest, I've never tried Minecraft. I've never had a reason to. However, I am open to it if I can co-op with someone. So again, that is something I could consider collabing with someone. I'm also least likely to play jump scare horror games. Like, it's like, oh, look at this spooky ghost. You have to collect X amount of things and make sure it doesn't jump at you, blah, blah, blah. I don't like those games. I like watching people play those games. But I don't like playing games for the sake of being scared, unless it's like psychological horror or like actual horror in general. Jump scares are just way too cheap for me. Like, it's like, as a hunter, I've had plenty of reasons to be scared of monsters, and just having a monster scare me just by jumping out at me, that's so cheap, you know? No, buy Mario Party. Yeah, get Mario Party. Yeah, the only FNAF game I've played is the one that came out for free. I think that was 6. And even then, I deliberately avoided doing anything that would cause the robots to come after me. So and if you do that, it's basically just a shop management game, which I actually liked. It was actually nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, so as we were talking about OSTs before, I'm a huge Drakengard fan. And I hope that we get more games like from them, from that studio in the future. And I'm also a big Kirby fan. The new Kirby's great. Just don't try to 100% it. You'll tear your hair out. And as I've mentioned with Jade Curtis, I am also a huge Tales of series fan. Like, Symphonia is my Final Fantasy VII, and that it's what got me into JRPGs. Yeah. It's like, I might have to pick that up for myself. Yeah, Yoko Taro. I blanked out on his name. Thank you. It's like, there's a clip of Yoko Taro with the Nier Automata t-shirt. Look that up. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, all but Drakengard 2 he worked on. And then what else? Oh yeah, I will be streaming the new Pokemon when it comes out. Not immediately. I'm getting it for my birthday. So probably that week is when I'm going to play it. And what else before I move on? Oh yeah, Dot Hack. That series ruined my entire life when I was just a child. I started with Dot Hack Sign, and then when I found out there were games and a whole lore, oh my god. I was so obsessed with it. Like, I was memorizing the songs and the lore. It's like, I still know the names of all the phases of Morgana. Skaith, Enos, Megas, Gore, what was it? Fidel, Maha, Tarvos, and Corbinet. I still have that tattooed in my brain because I was that obsessed as a 10-year-old. It was really bad. Really, if Dot Hack Link hadn't failed, they'd probably still be making games that I would be consuming to this day. And I did play Last Recode, and it was really good. And I'm glad we can finally marry Ovan after so much tension. It is optional, but if you want to check out the Dot Hack series and you do see that on Steam that Last Recode is on sale, watch Dot Hack Roots first, since that's the prequel that explains why the main character Seo is angry about everything. Yeah, it is amazing. I highly recommend it. And the Atelier series, that's another really good one. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I need to talk about, unless someone wants me to talk about one of the things on this list. And yes, Euphoria is a masterpiece. You can turn off the settings for things you're not comfortable with. Oh, Last Recode is on sale. That's good. Then yeah, definitely pick it up and watch Roots before you do. I have seen a lot of anime. Do you want to know how many entries I have on my anime list? 900! I have 900 entries on my anime list. This isn't even 10% of the anime I've seen. And there was more anime I wanted to put on here. I could have made a top 100. I did not. Yeah, I do have the stream element spot on. And it's on default settings, so be careful with spamming, please. But yeah, I've seen a lot of anime. Basically, from like 2009 to 2012. I basically binge watched the hell out of anime. And then from there, I would just watch like an anime every week. Now, keep in mind, on my anime list, things like season 2s and OVAs are considered separate entries. So, like, Aria is like 5 seasons, so that's like 5 entries. But yes, as your senpai, if you ever need a anime recommendation, please, by all means, ask me. You can tell me a genre you like. You can tell me what you're in the mood for, and I can recommend you a really good anime that you will probably like. In fact, speaking of BL earlier, there's Given. I highly recommend Given. If you're a BL fan, it has a season, a movie, and an OVA. That basically covers the stuff that the movie didn't cover. Extremely good. If you're tired of BL, that's all about like harassment and assault and all that, Given's where you want to go. The music in that made me cry. And Cyberpunk Edge Runner is definitely best anime 2022. As with Devilman Crybaby being best anime of 2018, I believe. Like, Netflix has been pretty banging with anime lately. Like, it's really hit or miss, but when it hits, it hits. And yeah, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, oh my god. One of the best anime of all time. Hands down. Like, I know they did a reboot, but I don't want the reboot to ruin my perspective on it, so I haven't even touched it. Yeah, I've heard good things about Chainsaw Man. It's on my to-watch list. I usually binge watch anime, so I'm gonna watch it after it's done airing. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind and Chainsaw Man will be my anime of the year. We'll see. This video might wind up being dated. But yeah, let's see. Oh, Banana Fish is really good if you're into crime thrillers. Let me see. What's something that's not talked about a lot? I know Interspecies Reviewers was trolled for a while, but it is unironically actually good. Dated debut. Like, if you're into ecchi comedy, it's got all that and more. Like, it's ecchi comedy minus, but the ecchi is bumped up to like R18. Let's see what else. Yeah, it was good. Exactly. I see you. I see you're all a man of culture as well. I'm very excited to see Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. That's on my to-watch list. Ninja Slayer. Oh, if you like shit posting and memes, watch Ninja Slayer and then be like, Domo, I am Ninja Slayer. And see how many friends you make with that. You'll thank me later. And Inferno Cop, by extension. Oh yeah, I didn't watch Redo of a Healer. I heard bad things about it, and it's not. That's not that. I didn't want to touch that. Odd Taxi is very underrated. Definitely watch that. Osomatsu-san. Yes. Darn. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. My throat just does not feel like working today. But as I was saying, thank you. Osomatsu-san, if I had to pick a favorite anime, would probably be that one. Simply because it's specifically my brand of humor. So if you haven't watched it, feel free to do so and then come back to me and tell me how messed up I am. Because it is very crude humor, which I absolutely love. I love how the brothers are all degenerates in their own special, unique way. And each and every one of them is a meme on crack. And I want more of it. It's like they've had like 3 seasons and a movie. And then there's Ebichu too. Yeah, that's a really good one. Osomatsu-san is what I'm talking about. Ebichu's another one that's very crude. And that one involves a hamster. It's like basically Hamtaro for adults. Yeah, aside from that, I'd say my favorite director is probably Satoshi Kon. You know, he's made a lot of psychological horrors that are classics. Yeah, exactly. Pork roll. Hamtaro gone wild. But yeah, with Satoshi Kon, it's like Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika. It's like everything he made was a classic. And it's very unfortunate that he was taken away from us too soon. And I know this is a basic bitch thing to say, but Studio Ghibli is probably one of my favorite anime companies. It's hard to beat like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle and all those movies. It's like I've seen most of them. I think the only one I haven't seen is Whisper of the Heart, which I do actually plan on watching tomorrow before I stream. Let's see. Is there anything really neglected? Oh, Trapeze. That's a really trippy one. It's basically about a psychiatrist curing a bunch of his clients before Christmas. And it's really trippy. Like, the sexy nurse is sometimes rotoscoped in 3D, and it's really weird. And if you're looking for more LGBT stuff, there's Wandering Sun. That one's really interesting. And another BL that I've heard literally no one talk about is Beryl and Sapphire. Make sure... Yeah, anime was a mistake. Make sure with Beryl and Sapphire, you get the uncensored version, because obviously since it's Chinese, a lot of the episodes are censored. But it is a gay Chinese anime. It's actually really good. It actually parodies and deconstructs a lot of tropes and whatnot. Thankfully, my manga list is much smaller. I'm a huge fan of Junji Ito. Shocker. So, I love Uzumaki and Yo, and hopefully the Uzumaki anime is really good. Again, I'm probably dating this video by saying that. And then there's Chobits. Okay, so, again, I was a little kid. I was, going around the bookstore for a book report, and then I'm going to checkout when I see a really cute cover of this girl. I'm like, oh wow, she's so pretty. And this was before I realized what my preferences were. But, I was still very drawn to her, and I decided I want that book. So my dad got it. I was like, I don't know how to read this. But then I figured it out, and that started the rabbit hole of me going to Borders every week, buying new stuff, and going to libraries and grabbing whatever I could and reading it. Yeah, funny enough, I haven't watched the anime. I've just read the manga, and that's it. But I have watched the opening, and I know the opening's really good. Oh yeah, Oyasumi Poon Poon. That's a really, really good one. That's definitely one of my favorites. That isn't like Junji Ito or anything like that. Very dark. I think if the people that make Mob Psycho 100 adapted it, I think it would actually be absolutely amazing. Like, how Mob, when he uses superpowers, like everything looks all psychedelic and shit? I think when Poon Poon's having like his imaginary moments, if they incorporate those kind of elements into it, that would help project what he's thinking in the manga a lot better, if that makes any sense. Oh, I didn't see. What are they censoring? Well, they're gay for Beryl and Sapphire. Yeah, for Beryl and Sapphire, they're gay, and it's an anime in China, so they censor them kissing and stuff. To answer your question. Sorry, I didn't see that until now. I'm also a big fan of Berserk. I'm glad they can decide to continue it. What did you eat yesterday? That's a really cute... I can't even say it's yaoi. It's a very soft core BL. In that it's literally an old gay couple. Just living their day-to-day slice of life business. And the recipes they teach you are actually practical. Which is really nice. And it's one of those things where, because they're old, they're... Yeah, exactly, as put in there. Don't worry, I'll allow that comment. I got it. I see you. Yeah, and then I like the the trifecta of waifus. Komi can't communicate. Uzaki wants to hang out. There's also Nagatoro. Those three are all really good. What's nice about Uzaki-chan is that one takes place in college. No, don't worry, you're okay. It's like, I just have the bot on there because I don't have moderators yet, and I know it's a little strict, sorry. Plus Anima was this manga that I was really into when I was younger. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't have an anime adaptation because I thought it'd be really good because it's basically about like animal kids. Mirai Nikki's really good. Citrus is really good. I know a lot of people when the anime came out didn't like it, but the manga is actually a really good deconstruction of Yuri tropes. So I highly recommend you give the manga a try for Citrus. It is, like I said, it is a Yuri. And it is one of those stories where it does come off strong at first, but over time the characters do go through a lot of character development and wind up in a really good place in the end. Complex is really good. That's another yaoi where Jai-sama, I don't recognize the name. I don't think so. I'll look it up later. Don't Worry Mama, that's a one-shot light novel, also a yaoi. Like, two dudes get stranded on an island and crazy things happen. The twist is that one of them is overweight and winds up losing weight over time, but the guy was attracted to him before he started losing weight, so it's actually a nice little twist. And the reason why the guy was overweight was because he's a mama's boy, hence the title. Like, his mom would spoil him, and it led to him, when he started being independent, he had anxiety, blah, blah, blah. Really good read, though. F-Combo, I really like the premise of this one. Basically, this dude lives with his aunt and uncle and cousin, and his aunt and uncle are both trans. Like, the aunt is a trans male, and the uncle is a trans female. So, of course, he's like, okay, so is my cousin trans? Or, I don't know. So it's a very good exploration of gender and sexuality, which I really like. The ending is a little anticlimactic, but it is still a really good read. Go for Nakamura is really good too. Fate's a really good BL. It is a little dated. It does have like the typical harassment tropes and all that, but is a really, really good crime drama. That's a BL. Our Dreams at Dusk, please read it. It came out recently. It's another LGBT friendly story about a man, coming out with his sexuality and finding the secret club run by this I believe she's non-binary asexual. And there's a lot of drama with the other people at this club, and it's just a really good read. It's very short too. Yeah, I am a sucker for like stuff like gender identity and all that. In contrast to my horror and messed up, twisted, dark stories, I also like the softer, deeper philosophical stuff. And then I like the fluff. I like a lot of things. Okay, that's just how it is. So, sometimes you just want to read different stuff when you're in the mood, Which is really good. Clamp stuff in general is really good. Or in High School Host Club. Again, if you only watch the anime, you are missing out. Read the manga. It is really good. And it is possible to get, like, the whole series in a box. Yeah, a little bit of everything never hurts. Exactly. And then there's Kerekano. That was probably the first time I went straight from watching anime to a manga, which is something I don't always do, especially now, since they usually led to me catching up and then forgetting about it. And the funny thing about Kerekano is that the anime focuses heavily on the comedy, And then you go read the manga, and there's so much drama and messed up stuff in it, and you're like, oh god. But it's a really good read. Yes, I did like Killing Stalking, and I actually liked the ending. I thought it was a very solid conclusion. However, I will say it is not a yaoi. Yes, the main character is gay and in love with the serial killer. And yes, there is explicit scenes involving that. However, it is a psychological thriller through and through. So, just to set your expectations. Oh, that's a good recommendation. I'll have to keep that in mind. Oh, thank you. It's like I was worried my voice would start getting a little raspy from me coughing so much. And the last one is a very personal one for me. With the Light, Raising an Autistic Child. I was going to Borders every week. I was renting out books, and I'm very into psychology and everything. It's like, I have a master's degree in being very smart, and over the centuries, I have studied humans for my job and learning how they work, and both for better or for worse. And really seeing a manga talking about this subject is very interesting to me. For its time, it was very accurate. Like, the writer did a great job researching it. But unfortunately, the author passed away, so they never finished it. So it goes from birth to him through adolescence, but unfortunately, as upsetting as it is, we never get to see him grow up as an adult, which really upsets me. But that's okay. I like to think in my headcanon that he does get to become a happy adult who winds up getting a job working with his dad. So yeah, if you want to try something really different and you're okay with it being a little dated, highly recommend. It might be hard to find now because it is an old series. Come on. We're not there yet. Okay. This is what I posted on Twitter, if you didn't see already. So tomorrow I'm going to be playing Genshin Impact. Spiral Abyss should be resetting, so I'll be able to do that. Drinking some water. And basically, I'll go over my teams, my compositions, my whatever, my builds. I've built a lot of characters. I've built like 20 characters for a variety of teams. I'm like a dolphin in that I buy the battle pass and the Wilkin. So I have a decent stuff, nothing crazy. And then Thursday I'm going to do Vampire Survivor. I've hunted plenty of vampires in my time. It resets tomorrow, so you should probably do that now. Yeah, with Vampire Survivor, I've really wanted to try this game. Like I said, I've hunted vampires before in the past, so we'll see how accurate it is to portraying real life, quote unquote. And then Saturday, as I mentioned in the beginning, is going to be the cat Q&A, where I will talk about my cat. I will reveal his name, and I will tell you all about him, including his lore, because he does have lore. So that's something to look forward to. In general, this may be my schedule, just with the fact that, I have to work as a hunter during the day and have to run around all over the place doing stuff. So working at night is better for me. Because usually by then it's like, I've eaten, I've showered, whatever. So it's all good. But I do recommend, if you want to keep up to date, to follow my Twitter, because that is where I'm going to be posting my schedule, because, again, I have no other place to put it. And that is the end. Okay, finally. Yeah, that's the credits for the slideshow I used and all my socials. Right now, I am going to be multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Until there's a reason for me not to. Like, if I somehow get a huge following on Twitch, then obviously it would benefit me to be an affiliate. But I'm not in a rush. So I'm just going to take my time and see what happens. And we can go from there. All right. Let's go back here. Drink some water. Are subs off for no particular reason? I'm not an affiliate. That's why I don't have subs yet. The subs you're seeing on screen right now are from YouTube. Because like I said, I'm multi-streaming on both right now. In fact, I've been looking at Twitch the other time. Yes, I see Rohel on there. Sorry I didn't acknowledge you before, but thank you for coming. Yeah, it's like you need like 50 subs to get affiliate, among other things. But that's why, like I said, I'm just gonna take my time with it. Favorite evolution? Espeon. And thank you for the wishes. Espeon is definitely my favorite. In fact, it's my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. I love Psychic Pokemon in general, and I love the sleek design of Espeon, and I also love how it is in battle. Like, what is it? Magic Bounce is its ability usually? Yeah, because I did actually play Pokemon competitively way back in Gen 5. So I had a few different teams for that. Ooh, a shiny Umbreon. That's cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, now's probably a good time. And then after that, we'll move on to the surprise, which hopefully I'll be able to properly give you guys. Oh, that's a good question. I'll go by Gen. Gen 1, Squirtle. Gen 2, I'm also a huge fan of Cyndaquil. I also really like Totodile. I always flop back and forth between which one I like more. Gen 3, I like Mudkips. I like Mudkips. Gen 4, I like Piplup. Gen 5, it's a toss-up between Snivy and Oshawott. I'd say I like Snivy a little bit more. He's really cool and regal and elegant. Yeah, I like Torchic. Gen 6. Let me think. I picked Fennekin. You know, obviously I'm a fox. While I don't like its final evolution, I love its second evolution, actually. Even though that's usually like the awkward middle. It actually looks really good in Gen 6. 7. Was that a Lola? Yeah, then Rowlet. I love Rowlet. That's probably, out of all the starters, my favorite Pokemon. I know it's got like 6 weaknesses because it's grass ghost, but he's just a round little boy, you know? I like my round chunky boys. Gen 8, what did I pick? Yeah, I picked Score Bunny for Gen 8. And for the new games, I'm going to pick, what was it? Fuecoco. And I did see what his final evolution like. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going for the Grass Cat. I hope you guys like him. I did see what his final evolution looked like, you know. So, Grass Cat. Oh gosh, I didn't even notice that I got a donation. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Again, I get distracted so easily and then I forget. That's what that sound was earlier, now that I realize it. Oh my gosh. All right, let me drink some more water. All right. Let's see. Moving along. Ta-da! Now, unfortunately, I don't think I could do this for very long because my throat's dying. but I would like to do just a little karaoke. Because I did say that I like to sing. In fact, let me see if I can turn the reverb on. Do 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 do. The mic I got from Say Art. I might just sing one song then, just so I can keep my promise. Consider this the beta version of an eventual karaoke stream. Yeah, I think I got one song in me. So, does anyone have any recommendations? I should have mentioned earlier, I'm a mezzo-soprano in terms of vocal range. So the really low stuff and the really high stuff I can't do. I'm like middle of the road. If not, I'm just gonna sing a Metal Gear song because is anything on the table? Yeah, I don't know why it has Jap censored. Yeah. English would be preferred. A Stranger I Remain. Just one? Stranger I Remain. Let me look up the lyrics. Because I know exactly what song you're talking about. I just want to make sure I have the words right. And I haven't tested singing on this mic, so. Here it is. How does this one go? I remember the chorus. Fly Me to the Moon. All right, I'll sing the chorus of Stranger I Remain because I remember that. And then Fly Me to the Moon. And then that'll be it. Unless I have it in me to do one more song. We'll see. Finally found what I was looking for. A place where I can be without remorse. Because I am a stranger who has found an even stranger war. Finally found what I was looking for. Here I come. That's all I remember from that song. Let's look up Fly to the Moon. I'll do another karaoke stream another time, and thank you. Hold on, my cat's crying again. Okay. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. That one came out all right. Alright, I think I have it in me for one more song. Down the last of my water. 3 seems like a good number to end on. Yeah, so if I do another karaoke thing, I'll try and remember Stranger I Remain so I can sing that fully. I'm blanking out for some reason. It's like I'm thinking more like, what's that song? The Only Thing I Know for Real. For some reason, I got that in my head. So I think I'm just going to end off with that song. Memories broken, the truth goes unspoken. I've even forgotten my name. I don't know the season or what is the reason. I'm standing here holding my blade. A desolate place without any trace. It's only the cold wind I feel. It's me that I spite as I stand up and fight. The only thing I know for real, there will be blood shed. The man in the mirror nods his head. The only one left will ride upon the dragon's back, because the mountains don't give back what they take. Oh no, there will be blood shed. It's the only thing I've ever known. Losing my identity, wondering have I gone insane? To find the truth in front of me, I must climb this mountain range, looking downward from this deadly height, and never realizing why I fight. There will be blood shed. The man in the mirror nods his head. The only one left will ride upon the dragon's back, because the mountains don't give back what they take. Oh no, there will be blood shed. It's the only thing I've ever known. Thank you. Thank you for the follow too. All right. Turn off the mic. Oh, how long has that been on? Whoops. Must have hit it by accident. Anyway. That is it for this debut. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know it wasn't anything too crazy, but I hope I can do more streaming and whatnot in the future. And thank you so much for the people that commented and followed. Like, I really think this was a great success. This was definitely, I feel like this was a really good number of people that have come on. Oh no, I meant my winking for some reason was on. The reverb was supposed to be on for me singing. So anyway, we'll go back to chatting. So yeah, final questions? Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you staying here for most of the stream, Laser Lotus. And for the people that weren't here from the start but came in later, I also appreciate it. Yes, you too, Etymology. I hope I'm saying your usernames right. Yeah, so like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming Genshin. And you can see how bad my teams are. I've been playing for over a year, so I have a decent build. So hopefully the Spiral Abyss won't kick my ass too much. Yep. Alright then. I'll catch you all next time. Oh yeah, I have over 200 fragile resins. I could help you out anytime. But we'll save that for another day. Bye-bye!